All right, now kind of a follow-up to the video I did that again, I cannot thank you all enough for watching before this last episode aired, having to do with Will the Malones think Benny was the one that attacked Vinny at the bar. And I was actually getting into a good discussion with a couple of people online, and it has to do with the fact of why is Benny always the fall guy of the haves and the have-nots? And by fall guy, I'm talking like scapegoat or the go-to person when something goes wrong and he gets blamed for it. And he's always a person that's always seeming to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And yes, this past season has just dumbed down Benny to like an entirely different level, to the point where it's like, oh man, he really is in a mental state of stupidity. And this goes back even early on in the season, like season 1. Nice kid, just trying to make a way in life, the honest, hard-working way as a tow truck driver, having a good heart, but at the same time being a bit naive. Basically, him being split between him loving his mom, then also being a brother to his sister. And at the times, he's always been the middleman of trying to keep the peace in the home. Like, if anything, Benny used to be the glue of the young household, but he's anything but that now. So, yeah. But you look back at season 1, it's like each season he's always detained for some reason or another. Season 1, locked up in jail for most of the season because he was caught in Candace's car with drugs that David planted in order to get Candace arrested. Season 2, for like over the first half, he was in a coma the entire time because of Wyatt hitting him during his, escape from the crack house from being robbed, and also when he killed Lil Lizzie. Season 3, what was Benny up to in season 3? I mean, if anything, this was like, after getting out of the hospital. Yeah, I mean, at that point, he was, I think Mitch was introduced. They were talking about the idea of, man, I wish we can afford this tow truck company. And Benny was out there trying to get tows. Hannah was like, you just got out of the hospital. You need to take some rest. Well, yeah, I know. But at the same time, these bills need to be paid, man. We got to go to work. Like, he was even against having that welcome home party because all this food and whatnot, these people eating for free, and we got bills and stuff. And Hannah wasn't working at the time. Well, yeah, she had just gotten her job back from Catherine because, remember, those two were at odds most of season 2 due to the whole your son hit my son, but you don't want to admit it. So, yeah, Benny was right in the sense that, look, I know I'm just getting home. I need to rest up. I just got out of a coma. But guess what? Those bills that keep coming, they don't ever get in a coma. If anything, they just keep reproducing. So I got to get out of here, try to make this money. So, yeah. And then season 4. He got into that mess with Veronica, and we saw that. And then he went to jail again, for hitting Quincy and beating him up in front of the strip club. But then he got out. And now season 5, this whole situation of possibly being blamed for the murder of Vinny Malone and him possibly being on the not only Veronica wanting to lock him up, because he also got detained by the police and then the Secret Service. So what would this be like? 1, 2, probably the 4th or 5th time in jail, theoretically, if he does get arrested for the murder of Quincy Maxwell. Then the Malones are going to be on this case about the money and then possibly killing Vinny. So yeah, Benny has always been a fall guy. And it's just a shame because he started out as such a good character. If anything, I really did relate Benny to the character of Amanda and the fact that they're the younger sibling of, I think Amanda was younger than Wyatt. I think so. I mean, at the beginning of the show, Benny was supposed to be older than Candace, but then they flipped that around. But let's just talk about it. You got the sibling that's the rebellious one, Wyatt being the one, and then Candace. And I even did a video a while back about how Candace and Wyatt are actually very similar. You have Amanda, who's young, naive, and trusting. Benny is the same way. Both trying to find their way in life. But unlike Amanda, Benny actually knew what he wanted to do, a tow truck driver. And, Amanda just didn't know what she wanted to do with her life. And then, after the whole coma situation, you have Benny in this weird mental state, but nobody's ever questioned it. So, yeah, there's that. But Then you have him being like a whore, sleeping around, basically being a male Candace in a way. The only difference is he isn't sleeping around for money and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, people dog Benny for living with his mom and everything, but I'll talk about that in another video itself. And then, you know, him and Melissa and whatnot. But yeah, let me know if you feel the same way. Do you feel like Tyler Perry is just crapping on Benny just to do it? I mean, say what you want to about Wyatt being in the same loop of getting high, doing something stupid, getting high, losing all his money and whatnot, but Benny was just a character who I thought he was going to do a lot more with. And you remember how I talk about how I'm sick of Veronica and Candace getting away with so much crap and whatnot? Same thing with Benny. It's like you're literally piling up all these ridiculous things that are almost completely out of character and then trying to randomly flip it around with, you know what, I decided to get the money back to your family, Mitch, or you know what, Veronica, I'm not doing this anymore. I want to be with Melissa. It's just crazy. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Benny young character. Do you think that it's wrong for him to always be the one that's blamed for these big mistakes? And what do you think Tyler Perry is going to do with him in the future?